This is a quick look at what's new in HomeKit for iOS 14. They've got some cool new dynamic HomeKit options in the drop-down menu you might like. All right, let's take a look at Apple.com's website. This is the release. They're pretty nice release notes about the new iOS 14. Today we're going to focus on just HomeKit. The first bubble they have there is suggested automations. Apple's going to suggest, I think based on the behavior that you have, hey, here's what I suggest. Okay, for an example of a suggested automation, if I open an individual light, here's a hallway light. If I go to settings, under automations, it gives you suggestions where you could turn on or off. So for instance, when the first person arrives home, set hallway light to 70%. I can toggle that on or off. Something that I didn't create, but it's a suggestion that they could create. Down here, the ones that I have created, I can pop in and turn on or off. So the switches on here are the suggestions for this device. It's cool, although I would rather have had them increase the logic, like if this and this, then do this. I think that would have been a lot nicer. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to wait on a future release for things much better than what we have now. The biggest thing I saw is the status. They have this new home status. It says it prioritizes the things that most need your attention. What it does, take a look at the iPhone. It gives you, I have a couple motion sensors with the temperature on them, and then it will categorize and group like things. So like lights here are grouped together. It says I have 4 lights on. If I turn on a fan, the fan is on. If I turn 2 fans, it says 2 fans are on. So that's nice. It groups plugs as well. I have a decoration in the living room. It has, looks like I have 1 switch on, so it groups all the like things together. The nice thing about this is you can long press and individually turn off the things without going into the individual rooms, which is really nice. Or from the home screen, just turn off the whole category, or turn that category, what was previously on, back on. Same thing with switches, same thing with fans and any like things you have together. If you don't want home controls to show up, go to your settings, down to Control Center, and then toggle off Show Home Controls. Then it returns back to normal. Next thing you'll notice, they say that they added adaptive lighting. If I click on that, it essentially is saying, hey, you can adjust the temperature to be different throughout the day based on different things like winding down for the night. I haven't really seen how to integrate that in through the HomeKit, so that's going to take a little bit more of diving into to see how to set that up. I know within the Hue app you can do that, but I haven't seen how to do that in HomeKit. Even on the settings for my normal lights, here's an example on the iPhone here. If I go into an individual light, it has suggested automations to put in here. It tells you all the scenes that this device is in. So you'll notice this is a reading light. If I open the scenes, it tells me all the scenes that I have those in. So that's cool to see, make sure I have all the certain light and all the correct scenes that I need. That's cool. But as far as adaptive lighting, I haven't really seen how to integrate that in yet. If you have a video camera that's compatible with HomeKit, they call it HomeKit Secure Video. It now lets you have zones, which is kind of playing catch up, which is kind of Apple's MO. But they let you have zones now to where if you have a sidewalk, you can crop out the sidewalk so it doesn't alert you every time somebody walks across the sidewalk. Instead, just when somebody comes to the door. And they also added facial recognition. So if you have photos, people tagged in your photos on your device, it can then use that facial recognition to tell you that that person is at the door and give you notifications based on that. That's pretty cool. Along with the zones, I think it really makes HomeKit secure video much more viable to buy. So I think that may be one of my next purchases is to get a HomeKit compatible doorbell. Let's take a look on the iPhone and see some of the things, again, categorizing different things within the HomeKit app. You'll notice on the pull-down menu, it includes dynamic scenes. So for instance, cooking is one of my scenes. I can trigger it right from the pull-down menu, or individual items that it dynamically populates into there. You can also pull up the entire HomeKit app essentially from a pull-down menu. This is my favorites menu. I can change it to certain bedrooms right there. Again, this is a pull down menu. It acts just like the HomeKit app to turn individual things on or scenes in particular portions of HomeKit. So it's like having all of HomeKit in your pull down menu, which is nice. Let's take a look at the iPad. Home, your automation, and then individual rooms set up on the left hand side. Again, it categorizes the groups together up at the top. Or your automation to create new. I haven't seen a lot of new stuff in the how to create automation, which is unfortunate, but you get what you get. Let's take a look at the pull down menu from the right side. You'll notice this is a little more dynamic in it, that it has more individual things to turn on, and it's different than the pull down menu on my iPhone, which I found interesting. The iPad has less scenes, but more devices. And that just changes, again, dynamically based on what I think. It just determines what you need. Let's take a look at an individual device. You can long press it and pull up the individual device to change. So you notice that it changed based on the scene that I have active. So if there's a scene active, I can turn it on and turn it off right from the pull down menu. That's so much more convenient than searching for your home app, which you may not have on your home screen. So again, if I turn it off on my iPhone, it automatically, very little delay in turning it off on my iPad. And again, different devices. I think it prioritizes devices that are on. So if you have them on, it's quick to turn them off. This particular plug, it has dual control. It has a night light on it, which means it doesn't toggle right from the icon, which I don't love, but it is cool to have the night light feature. Again, individual devices you can turn on and off, and then it changes dynamically. So let's take a look at, let me see, something. I'm going to pull up on my iPhone something that's currently not in the screen. There's my office light and a chandelier in the kitchen. So I activated that on my iPhone. And let's see if I can do a scene. It's not showing up on my iPad. I'm going to turn on the fans. So I have a scene that turns the fans on high on my iPhone. So let me see. At home, you'll see it has a group of fans on. Again, it's not absolutely perfect. You'll notice that I have 2 fans on my iPhone, but they're not updating on my iPad. So, I mean, 99% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, it works great. Let me turn it off. I haven't seen it do this too often, so it's cool to see that it is not perfect all the time. See, I'm getting no response from HomeKit for some reason. It looks like it dropped my Wi-Fi. Okay, updating. It's getting Wi-Fi back. Let's see what it does. I have the new Wi-Fi 6 router, so this is pretty uncommon. It's cool to actually see it screw up sometimes. Again, we're just being real. Okay, I have fans high on there. It's still getting no response from some of these. Again, remember, if you have, one thing I noticed, I'm using the Home Hub. I have a Home Hub. It's an Apple TV. It is, when it's plugged into Ethernet, it's not technically connected to the Wi-Fi network, so therefore the Wi-Fi network does not work. I can't control my house if that's connected to Ethernet. I think it's dumb, and there's probably a fix for it, but I notice when I unplug the Ethernet cable, then it connects to the Wi-Fi network, and I can control all these things remotely. So if you have an Ethernet connection, unplug it, and your Home Hub will be able to be on the Wi-Fi, which connects to all these Wi-Fi devices through their individual hubs. I'm getting no response. Oh, interesting. When I touch them again. So, little bugs. If I touch the no response things, it suddenly has a response. So there's some auto-updating thing inside the app that's not perfect yet. So look, on my iPhone, turn the two fans off, automatically updates to two fans off. Disappears on the iPad, but stays on the iPhone. Oh, until now, just disappears. Seems kind of random. Let's pull down the dynamic pull-down menu. Okay, it has the individual devices. Let's turn on a fan scene. Looks like it updated in the individual, but it has not pulled the scene into the pull-down menu yet. It's going to be dynamic. But it has the scene on the device that I activated it on. I think it's nice. It could be nice to customize it yourself, which there may be a way to do that. But as of now, it looks like it's just dynamic based on what it thinks that you need or the last device that was on. Let's try a couple different things. If I turn fans high off on the iPad, it turns it off. It just shows that it's turned off there. Randomly do some things here, and it shows up in both places. So let me see if I can populate a scene on the pad. If I go to, say, I already have that on the pad. Let's try dinner. Dinner time. Oh, looks like that one failed. How about an evening scene? So it updated the devices dynamically, but has not added the scene. See it. Interesting. Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it works in everyday use. But that seems to be the biggest update with 14 is that this dynamic pull-down menu changes. Again, on the pad, it gives you just a full screen type view. You can also take a pull-down menu from the top. The pull-in from the side menu gives you the different scenes. You can either touch the icon on top left or just drag in from the left-hand side. Does give you settings, menu up top. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it for a first look. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great day.